Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to Tales Under the Tree. Today, we are under the Ralph S. French Charitable Foundation Mighty Oak, and my name is Christine. I'm going to be reading to you today, Where Should Turtle Be? It is written by Susan Ring and illustrated by Lori Allen Klein. Late one night, when you couldn't hear a sound, there came a cracking and a popping, something moving on the ground. Inch by inch, a turtle slowly broke away from its nest on the beach and headed for the bay. Guided by the lights, he knew they were the key to finding his new home wherever that should be. But the lights weren't stars, and the lights weren't the moon. They were houses and cars, and he turned too soon. When Turtle stopped to rest by an old and crooked tree, he said, "I think I'm lost. This isn't where I ought to be." Little Turtle cried, and with his tiny voice he said, "I'm not where I should be. I am in the woods instead." A bear came out when he heard the turtle's plea. He said, "A box turtle, that's what you could be. You wouldn't have to swim. You could feast on fruit. You could crawl around the forest and sleep a lot to boot." Turtle tried it for a while, but he couldn't stick to it. He was not a box turtle, and he just couldn't do it. "No, thank you," said the turtle. "It's just not me. I really don't think that's what I'm supposed to be." And so he walked on. When Turtle stopped to rest by a cattail in the sun, he said, "Where am I now? Can you help me, anyone?" Little Turtle cried, and with his tiny voice he said, "I am not where I should be. I am by this pond instead." A frog jumped down when he heard the turtle's plea. He said, "A painted turtle, that's what you should be. You could sun on logs, you could munch on bugs, you could stroll around the pond and slurp down on slugs." Turtle tried it for a while, but he couldn't stick to it. He was not a painted turtle, and he just couldn't do it. "No, thank you," said the turtle. "It's just not me. I really don't think that's what I'm supposed to be." And so he walked on. Turtle was unhappy, trudging through the salty marsh. The sun was hot, the mud was deep, this habitat was harsh. He pulled and yanked and flailed around in the icky, sticky, muddy ground. Turtle tried without much luck, but sat there stuck in gobs of muck. A beetle flew down when he heard the turtle's plea. He said, "A diamondback terrapin, that's what you could be. You could crawl on the mud. You could crunch salty snails. You could also eat clams and—" "Wait!" the turtle shouted. "I won't try it for a day. I am not a terrapin, and I must get on my way." Then the turtle whispered, "You know, it's just not me. I really don't think that's what I'm supposed to be." Then Beetle tickled turtle's shell. The turtle laughed so hard that pop, he flew out of the mud, about 1 mile and a yard. Little Turtle cried, and with his tiny voice he said, "I was looking for my home, and ouch, my head is sore instead." A crab scurried down when he heard the turtle's plea. He pointed and he said, "Out there, that's where you should be." "Out there, little turtle, it's well within your reach." Then Turtle looked around and saw he had landed on the beach. Inch by inch, he headed on that way, from the soft and sandy beach to the salty silver bay. Then Turtle slid in and he shouted, "This is me, 'cause I'm supposed to be a turtle in the sea." The end. While a lot of the things we learned in this story have to do with different types of turtles. Our turtle in the story was a sea turtle. And sea turtles have special adaptations or differences that make it easier for them to be a turtle that lives in the sea. For example, a sea turtle has something called flippers. So they have these long arms, and they really help them swim. Swimming in the ocean can be really difficult without these flippers. Some of you know what I'm talking about if you've ever been to the beach on a really windy day. They also have a streamlined shell. That means that from head to tail, it's really smooth and almost flat, right? Water can travel around the turtle, and it makes it really easy for the turtle to just glide through the water. This is different from some of the other turtles we met, like a tortoise. If you look at this tortoise, it has a big round shell. And that might be because a tortoise is an animal that when a predator comes, the tortoise can shrink up into its shell. And the bigger the shell is, the more of a mouthful it is for that predator, and the less likely the predator is to even try to bite down on this tortoise. The tortoise also has claws on its feet. It doesn't have those nice big flippers. And that's because tortoises are the types of turtles that don't swim. So if you ever see a turtle, or maybe it's a tortoise, don't put it in the water. It might be a tortoise and it can't swim. But a good way to tell is just to look for those claws. And finally, we have a freshwater turtle. And similar to the sea turtle, it has a streamlined body so that it can glide in the water. It also has claws, but there's webbing between its toes. So this webbing lets it swim really nicely when it's in those ponds, but the claws are important because freshwater turtles sometimes come out of the water to lay in the sun. This is probably where you've seen a lot of turtles, is basking on the logs and rocks around ponds. We hope you've enjoyed reading Where Should Turtle Be with me today, and we really hope you come visit the Bishop and have an excellent rest of your day. Bye-bye.